Hey, this is Angela Augustus here. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my book, Chip. Use everything you have to do everything you do. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you about this good stuff. I'm hoping by the end of our conversation, you're going to have a really great insight on some things that you may be able to put in your life that you can learn from my life. So, when you ask, who's Angela Augustus? Uh, you know, I have a pretty decent resume. I can't lie. I'm executive director of an organization called Human Services Programs of Carroll County. I'm a professor at the University of Baltimore. I teach research methods, and I'm a board member of a couple of different organizations. I've published this book. I've also published a leadership development workbook for folks in the human services world, and I'm actually in the process of finishing up my third book called Goal Cartography. And then lastly, also my life's work, in addition to everything else that I do, I'm also a co-owner of CMAG and Associates, LLC. Now, with all that being said, who is Angela Augustus for real? So you look at this little nice picture. This is me in my third grade class back in 1983, and that's me, the little cute chocolate face in the middle. That's who I am. And the funny thing about it is, as we become older and we become adults, we kind of assume that we're going to take on this whole new personality, this whole new life. But in actuality, we're all still that same little kid on the inside. And it's important to embrace that and be okay with that. So I was sitting in that third grade class and we had to write these poems, right? And so, I wrote this poem that really has turned into my life's mantra. And the poem is use everything you have to do everything you do because everything you do is a chip off of you. And it's not like I was this uber profound little 8-year-old kid. I was a very regular 8-year-old kid. And I wrote another poem because we had to write two that day. So I wrote another poem and it was April showers help flowers, but they make people wet. So, I kind of sometimes think that my Heavenly Father had me memorize both poems because it's very clear what I wrote versus what he wrote. April showers help flowers, but they make people wet. That's totally an 8-year-old's little poem that I wrote back in 1984. But use everything you have to do everything you do because everything you do is a chip off of you. Those words were totally given to me by my Heavenly Father. That's not me. That's just what was given to me and has really stuck with me throughout my entire life. So the words have all meant something different over the years. When I first, I guess, received these words or first wrote this poem, it was all about reputation and a little kid's brain, use everything you have to do everything you do because everything you do is a chip off of you. So it's like that chip off of me was all about reputation. And that's sort of what sort of laid in my heart as it relates to these words. And then as I got to be a little bit older, when I was like in high school, it really started shifting. And it really became about understanding who I was. And then as an adult, it really shifted again into really this whole idea of being weighed down. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about each of those three different manifestations and how it really has impacted my life. So as I was saying, use everything you have to do everything you do because everything you do is a chip off of you. It really was about reputation. What kind of legacy do you want? What kind of impact do you want to have on people? How do you want people to think about you after they've had an interaction with you or people that are friends with you and just really trying to be a good person, and that was definitely me when I was a kid. I just value the importance of relationship and trying to treat people right. And that was something that my dad, that's a picture of me and my dad. That's something that my dad really, instilled in me and the importance of, relationship. And my mom was the same way. Like they were both like uber socialites and stuff and had lots of friends and everything. But it was always important to like take care of people and be there for people and be there for your friends. So as I was saying earlier, the second manifestation of chip is really understanding, meaning understanding who I am and what I'm good at. If I'm supposed to be, using everything I have according to this poem and according to these words that were given to me, if I'm supposed to use everything I have, then obviously I must have something. I must have some kind of talent. Growing up, I really got to this sort of spot in my life where I didn't feel like I was good at anything. Like, all those sort of tangible things that you get like certificates for in school, like, being an athlete or singing or whatever. And it's like, am I athletic? No, I'm 6 feet tall. And, I tried to play basketball and I suck. So, I don't sing well at all. I definitely have a lack of rhythm, so dancing is not my thing. I've never been a real A student per se, especially like in high school and stuff and throughout my grade school years, because I was diagnosed as having a mental health or developmental disability, basically saying that I have dyslexia and I have a learning disability and things of that sort. And so very early on in my life, I pretty much gave up on academics because I felt like, okay, well, if I'm dyslexic and I have all these challenges, what's the point of trying? So I was like a typical like C student. I'm not artistic or any of that stuff. So it's like what I really loved was helping people and making a difference in people's lives, even as a kid. And even though nobody from the school that I went to would actually agree to this or admit to this, I should say, but I guess they realized that they had this one little black kid in this class and they had to give me some kind of award because at the end of the year, how they do the awards and the parents come and, you get your little certificates and stuff. And I'd never gotten an award. And then all of a sudden one year I look up in the audience and I see my mom and my dad and I'm like, holy shnikes, I'm getting an award. This is so awesome. And I got the friendship award. And I swear it was some made up crap because they realized that they needed to give me something. But, it is what it is. But I got the friendship award as a kid. So the last way that chip really has, manifested in my world was when I hit like in my late 20s, early 30s. And I realized that, when you think about use everything you have to do everything you do because everything you do is a chip off of you. So if I have these chips, that I'm supposed to be giving because, it chips off of you, I'm supposed to be giving of these chips. And I start sort of vision like walking around with this bucket of chips. And, at some point you realize that if you're not giving of your chips, i.e., you're not giving of your talents, you're going to feel weighed down because you're carrying all this stuff around. Now, granted, this bucket never actually empties per se. It's more so that you're just supposed to keep giving of it so that it always flows. It always is a part of who you are and what you're doing. And if you're living a life and you're not able to live within your talents, then you're really going to end up getting weighed down. And so this was something that really, really stood out to me and has really taken these words to a whole new level for me, is really looking for those opportunities to use my talents. But before I could even do that, I had to figure out what I was talented at. I had to figure out what did I love, what was my passion. Talking about helping people is wonderful and lovely, but for me, my dad was a business guy. My mom's a social worker, so I kind of have a little bit of both of them in me. And so I had been on the social work route. I've been, working with folks with, mental health challenges and developmental disabilities and working in residential programs and stuff like that. But I felt like there was something missing. And I realized that I really wanted to actually develop my own programs and run my own company because I still had that business side of me. And so this was when that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm not able to give, like I'm giving them my, helping people chips, but not my business brain chips. And so, you know, as soon as I started looking for those opportunities to develop myself as a leader, to learn more about program evaluation and program development and all those different things, I started getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And it was just such an awesome experience because I wasn't feeling so weighed down. So, like, I want to give you some things that I want you to think about, things that I thought about as I was sort of in that space where I was trying to figure out what to do with those chips. So, you know, I want you to think about, like, what do you want people to think about you? Like, what kind of reputation, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And then I want you to take some time and think about, what are you really good at? What do you really enjoy doing? What feeds you? What makes your soul happy that you could do? And just spend some time in that headspace. And what are the problems that we often have, especially living in the kind of a world that we live in as now, where money is such a huge thing? you know try taking money off the table. Like, let's pretend like you won the lottery and you want enough money that all your monetary needs are taken care of. Like, you have plenty of money for, like, shopping and your rent and the car and traveling, whatever. Like, money is not an object. So then what would you want to do with your day? Like, if there was a part of that that says that you have to do something with your day, what would you do with your day? And so start thinking about that. Like, start thinking with, like, just so simple, like, how would you want to start your day? What would you want to do when you first wake up in the morning? You know, what do you want your day to look like? Think about stuff like, do you want to go to an office? Do you want to work from home? Do you want to, you know, travel all over the world for the work that you do? Like, what do you want to do? And just sort of spend some headspace time just dreaming about the best life you can imagine. And just do that for a while and spend some time in that. And then once you've done that, then you can take the time to try to figure out how to get you there. So, like, Chip and this whole process was just really about figuring out that dream, figuring out what am I good at. Use everything you have to do everything you do, because everything you do is a chip off of you. So what is it that you need to do so that you can really live that kind of life? So I know I've said it like 5,000 times, but I want to just say the words one more time. Use everything you have to do everything you do, because everything you do is a chip off of you. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to me. And, I'm looking forward to putting some more stuff out there to talk more about the process and, how to really help you to live a better life. So check us out.
Training has been provided by CMAG and Associates LLC, a consulting and training organization based in Maryland. We provide executive coaching, leadership development, succession planning, and policy and training. You bring the purpose and the passion, and we will help you with the process. You may contact us at cmaganassociates.com, on Twitter at cmagassociates, and by email info@cmaganassociates.com. Thank you again.
CMAG and Associates LLC, we're an organization that does executive training, leadership development, succession planning, policy and training, facilitation, and things of that sort. So, and this series is really about working with folks to help people to live the best lives possible. So this is the first part of a series, and I'm really, really excited to share this information. If you want to get more information about CHIP, you can check out the CMAG and Associates website, or angelaaugustus.org, or you can hit us up on Twitter, CMAG Associates at CMAG Associates, or you can even email us at info@cmaganassociates.com if you want to find out more information about what we're doing and all the really cool stuff that's going on. Check out my book, Chip, Use Everything You Have to Do Everything You Do. And also check out the other book, the leadership workbook for human services professionals. You can find all these books on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble. I'm new, so Google my name, not the name of the book, because Chip on Amazon, you could come up with anything. So Google my name, Angela Augustus, last name spelled Gustus, and you'll find the book. It's a short read, really cool information, goes into a little bit more depth of what I've talked about right here, and hopefully it'll make an impact on your life. So I hope you've enjoyed this time and have an absolutely awesome, awesome day.